So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert. This is your first time tuning in. So today what we're going to talk about a few things that I wish I would have done better when negotiating my first property, which is land, my first land property. Now, to quickly give a little backstory to it, so I did buy this property just shortly after I graduated college. I think I was already like talking about it and maybe even looking at properties when I was in college, and then as soon as I finished college, got a good job. That's when I went ahead and pounced on something and picked up this property. So I'm gonna give you a quick couple things that I wish I would have negotiated better. Now again, things have changed. I'm a little bit older, a little bit wiser. I know a little bit more now than what I did back then. So again, these are just some of the things that come off the top of my head. Now, it wouldn't have drastically changed my life any, but it would have been nicer. So stay tuned, we'll go ahead and get into it. If you get any value from this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the video. And yeah, helps the channel out. Helps me put out more content that you guys like when you like the videos. But one thing I wish I would have negotiated a little bit better, and had I not known at this time, again, this was years ago now, is to make sure that the property comes with an ag exemption, because here in Texas, you need to have so many cattle for so many amounts of time, so a period of time, and you need so many amount of cattle. Well, cattle aren't cheap, and you need time, obviously. So that's something that I did not negotiate or even think about when I bought the property. But luckily I found another way to do it. We can talk about that in another way, another video. But I found another way to get an ag exemption without having any cattle on there, and to speed up the process and get it kind of immediately. So yeah, that's something I wish I would have known. But looking back, you know, had that been done, then I wouldn't have figured out the other way, the alternative way to do this. So it was kind of good and bad. It was a blessing in disguise, I guess, right? But that's something that I wish I would have negotiated or learned about or asked about, inquired about before buying the property. For a lot of people, it's going to be kind of important, and a lot of people don't think about that as well. You might be asking, why is that important? Well, it's going to be important because it's going to determine how much you pay in property taxes every single year. And if you're going out and buying hundreds of acres or a large tract of land, say 150, you know, your taxes are going to be in the thousands. They're not cheap. They're going to be up there. But if you have that livestock exemption for cattle, it's going to drop it down significantly. It's going to drop it down quite a bit, and you're going to be quite surprised with how much you'll save. And this is going to be every year. But again, if you don't negotiate this or you don't discuss this before buying the property, you're going to be stuck with a big bill. So that's one thing I wish I would have negotiated better or learned about before buying the property. Again, I was a young kid. I was just eager to get something, buy something. You know, I did a little bit of research, but I definitely could have done more, could have dove more. But over the years, just buying more real estate, I've learned a lot more as time has gone on. So the next thing I would have done is ask for seller credits. That's something I wish I would have done on my first property, is ask for seller credits. What is a seller credit? It is a credit. It is monies that they give you so you can do repairs, so you can do any kind of maintenance, so you can do anything that the property needs before you buy it. They're going to give you money up front to take care of those issues, or to, you know, renovate the house. Whatever you plan on doing, this has to be discussed prior to closing on the property. Now, for me and for this video purposes, land, in this case a fence, I wish I would have asked for a seller credit for a fence. I also wish I would have asked for a seller credit for a dozer to clear the clearing for a fence, or to clear any clearing for a road. So when I bought the property, there wasn't a road here. It was literally like this the whole way around. It was just overgrown, forgotten, abandoned, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there wasn't a road. We had to clear out a road. I wish I would have asked for a seller credit buying the property up front, So that way they would have paid for me to at least have access to the property. They had put a gate in the front of the property. Again, this was years ago. They had put I got a spider web all over me, man. They put a gate, but the gate only took you so far into the property. It didn't take you throughout the whole property. It took you, I don't know, maybe 100 feet, if that, into the property. So the rest was just, like I said, the way it looks here, just nothing but brush. And yeah, we had to clear it out. Had we had a seller credit, we could have hired a dozer, hired somebody to come in and clear it out for us, and we wouldn't have to have been breaking our backs to get this thing done. Now again, with the fence, so this one didn't have a fence. That would have been an easy sell as a seller credit. When purchasing this property, would have been to ask for seller credit to obviously put up a fence. That makes total sense. They probably would have gone for it. Now I'm gonna quickly backtrack a little bit. You also have to realize what kind of market you're in as well. So back then, you know, it's probably split. It was maybe even, you know, a little bit more towards the seller side. The market was a little bit more of a selling market. Today, if we were to do this all over again, you have a really good leverage to negotiate, because we're more in a buyer's market. So there is more supply and less demand when it comes to buying these larger tracts. When it comes to smaller tracts, it's a little bit different story. They kind of split. I think of them as two different markets, because they're just, you know, you're targeting two very different people. You're targeting people that are buying multi-million-dollar properties, and you're targeting people who are buying properties under $1 million. So it's two very different people and two very different markets. So today, damn spiderwebs, man. So today, if I was to do this again, we would have more leverage if we go into the at least $1 million category, because there's, you know, there's a little bit more room. There's a little bit more room to negotiate by seller credits and things like that. Heard something. Get distracted too easy. Anyways, yeah, so just realize what kind of market you're in as well. Now the last thing, and probably one of the most important things as well, I would think it's very important, is the last thing I wish I would have done differently is I wish I would have looked at more properties at that time than what I did. I looked at like 3 properties in total. I should have looked at more, even outside of the area that I was looking at, to kind of expose myself to see, you know, just what my money can buy me. Now today, you know, looking back, this was actually a good purchase. You know, the property has value has increased like 3 times since when I bought it. So, you know, was it a good deal? It was a good deal. I made a good move on it, but I wasn't as educated as I should have been buying this thing years ago. You know, I wish I would have looked at more properties, you know, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 properties before jumping on one. That's one thing I wish I would have done. That way you can see, you know, just what you can actually get with the money you're going to be spending. You have more things to compare it to. You know, check out some different areas too. Like for me, it would be checking out the hill country, checking out maybe deep South Texas, Central Texas, you know, checking out different areas to see what my money can actually buy me. So that's one thing I wish I would have done differently, and that's something I'm doing differently now, is looking at more properties. You know, maybe it's an area I wasn't even interested before, but then when I get out there, I'm like, oh wow, it's actually really nice. That's what I'm coming out to find out now, is that we're looking to buy more property, and you know, we're looking at other areas that weren't really of an interest to me in the beginning, but when we get out there, it's like, oh wow, it's actually really nice out here. Community's nice, landscape is nice. I wish I would have done that years ago with this property. Now, I have no regrets buying this property though. It's a beautiful property. Get compliments on this property a lot, especially for being in this location. It's really hard to find a property this nice in this location. But yeah, looking back, that's something I wish I would have done differently, is explore more of my options back then. again, I was very eager. I had the money to do it, so I went ahead and just jumped on it, looked at like 3 properties and went ahead and just, you know, did it. But yeah, enjoy your time with it, enjoy the process. It's fun looking at property. That's another thing, is just enjoy it. Don't get too anxious about it or excited about it. Just, I guess you can get excited, but don't get overly excited till we make a mistake. So it's fun, enjoy the process, enjoy looking at land. It's fun, and yeah, just enjoy it. Don't get too much in a hurry. Yeah, without further ado, be careful, be good, take care, and God bless. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.